I'm so sad.
Week without phones.
Hi guys, it's Caroline, and here's my friend Milan.
Hi.
So what we did for the last week is that we went 1 week, school week, without any phones.
There were definitely some challenges. We did our best to try to stay off of it. There were some points where we had to go on it. Like Caroline was absent a day of school and had to text someone about a project. I had to text someone about math notes, and we tried our hardest to make it like as close to having no phones as possible, because there's just no way that we have to communicate with people.
Yeah, and we also had to have like our laptops for like doing school stuff, but we tried to go for pretty much nothing that's social media, like nothing that's like not school related.
I was surprised by how much I hated it. When we were going into it, I was like, this is gonna be so good. I'm gonna be so like, it's just gonna be like a great detox, and I'm gonna feel so much better afterwards. The first day when I didn't have my phone at school, like we just didn't bring it to school either. Like, it was so stressful. I felt like times when I would usually check my phone just wasn't there. And it just made me feel more stressed out, and having my mom pick me up, like I had to wait there instead of like texting her and like seeing where she is. You just are a lot more anxious without it because you don't understand how dependent you are on it.
What surprised me was kind of just like how much I just Google random stuff because I'm curious. Like, because I was expecting it to be kind of harder on like the social side, like, oh, I can't text my friends or whatever. But no, like what bothered me probably, not the most, but one of the things that like bothered me a lot about it was the fact that if I just had a random question about what classical piece is this, like I couldn't just Google it. Or like if I wanted to know what like a song was, I couldn't just like Google the song lyrics, and it would like tell me, oh, this is the song, you know? Like just stuff like that. I expected it to be more of like a detox. I expected, for one, to be a lot more productive because I didn't have my phone to distract me. Turns out I'm just a distracted person in general, because I definitely didn't get any more homework than I would have if I had been on my phone.
I actually the opposite of Caroline. Like in study hall, I noticed like a lot of times I just get on my phone in study hall, and I talk to the people around me too, but I was doing less of that and like doing more of my work because my phone was just not there at school to get on. So when I was at home doing homework, I felt less inclined to like go and distract myself just because of how inconvenient it is to like go on apps on your laptop and stuff like that. I felt like I was more productive. I got to sleep at like decent times every night this week, except last night because I had a reading guide and 2 tests to study for. But other than that, like I felt like I got to bed at a normal time, which is because I just got bored of not having my phone, and I just started my homework at 4 instead of 7. So I got to bed at a decent time, and I feel like I was just a lot more focused. You don't realize how distracted you get on your phone, and like how much it like distracts you just by sitting there. Like I'll be listening to music, and I noticed that I was like a lot less distracted listening to music on my laptop than I was on my phone, because I was less likely to like reach for it and like go on social media or something.
I noticed too is that I think, get more sleep. Did I feel better rested? Honestly, no. It was like an hour more of sleep than I normally get. It wasn't enough of a change for me to feel like, oh, I'm actually like ready to get up in the morning, you know? So
yeah, I would agree with that. It was more of like quantitative getting more sleep, but not having your phone doesn't make you feel more refreshed, if that makes sense.
Hardest was just trying to like do projects and stuff, because at the beginning of the week I was going like, I'm not texting anybody, I'm not doing any messages of like any sorts. By the end of the week I did have to just like text people about stuff, because like it's stuff like, because I had a bunch of group projects this week too, which when your teacher expects you to be able to just like text your friend, which is a thing too, because I feel like, I don't know, if this was the 80s and we didn't have cell phones, like the teacher you'd have a lot more time to get stuff like this done. So I feel like, but because we live in this world, it was a lot more harder for us to do this than it would have been just the average life in the 80s.
I had to open my laptop in the morning, which never happens, and like type in my password and like boot it up and go on the internet and look at the weather to see what I want to wear.
That was like something that I was like, shoot, I can't get on my phone to look at the weather.
Phones are just so much more convenient than anything else, and like the fact that you just have this little handheld device. Also with like, in regards to like deciding what I should use it for and what I shouldn't, I found myself phones are a scary thing because you never know like how much time you spend on it. So like I went and texted someone about a project that I had to do, or I texted someone about science notes that I had missed. And I just I didn't even realize the fact that I got on Instagram for an hour. I felt so guilty afterwards. I was like, I'm breaking this commitment I made to myself. But when you get on your phone, it's so hard to not be distracted by it just because of how ingrained it is into our minds, and how easy it is to slip into the trap of just getting distracted for hours upon hours and not even realizing it. I didn't realize I'd opened Instagram by seeing a notification and just scrolled through. That's why you guys watching this, you might have seen that I was active yesterday and the day before. I tried my hardest not to be, but it just happens when it's just you have such easy access right there. I feel like that wouldn't have been as effective as this. One thing I had noticed was I wanted to put this away originally for myself, and Caroline and I decided to do it because of the fact that how much stress any sort of interaction through your phone's bring. We were talking about past decades where you didn't have phones and you were able to or the internet, and you were able to just go home and be away from any conflict that you had previously. Even if we had texting and the news and other stuff just coming through us constantly at our phone, I feel I would feel just as negative. Taking yourself away from all of the drama altogether, which it doesn't only include social media, it includes texting, it includes for me, a lot of the stress that I get is from the news, so that obviously would not be taken away by getting rid of social media.
I have to kind of disagree on that, and I feel I kind of felt more stressed out this week just because I didn't have it, especially with all group projects and stuff. I just couldn't text somebody to see, and also again with the I just want to Google some random stuff, or just stuff the weather. I feel I learned a lot from it, just how much I do depend on my phone just to do everyday things. I recommend recommending something to somebody else. I would say just a week without social media would probably be better, just because there was a lot of it was inconvenient what we did.
I'd like to amend what I said. I would agree with the inconvenience, that definitely stressed me out, but apart with the social interactions on your phone,
yeah,
that's specifically what completely removing yourself helped with. So if you're able to do that, I'm sure there are ways you can turn off your messages, you can turn off the news app, you can turn off all of your social media and still just have the easily accessible stuff there, so you're able to have the basic necessities that you need, and turn it on if you need to text someone.
Or just turn off notifications. It's not even that you have to just say no messages for a week. Just turn off notifications, so it's not every time something happens it's coming up on your phone, because I feel with the news thing, it's good to be informed, and if you're oh, I have nothing better to do, let's go on the news app and see what's going on in the world, that's okay. But the thing is when it's sending you notifications, so every time anything happens it's right there, that it kind of gets a bit more stressful. Yeah.
We had to cheat to text different people for group projects, and then when you cheat, the bad part about phones is just you get you don't even realize that you're going even further into it. You can spend hours upon hours without even realizing that you're still on your phone. And I feel I definitely didn't purposefully click onto the other apps that I clicked on. It just was so easy to do so that your brain just kind of tells you to cheat.
Yeah. Because at first, when I was more stricter with it and I, put my phone physically in a drawer where I could not see it, then, that was different. And, Monday night, which was the first night, I, almost, picked up my phone and, went and did something because it's oh, my God, I don't like this. But then I, started a book. So then I was, distracted by, that was something that I could, if I'm bored, I can read my book, you know? So I feel that helps a lot. So I almost did it then, and yeah, there was the texting. I guess I kind of cheated because I used my alarm all 5 days. It was 5 days, yeah, because I just don't have anything else to set an alarm with. I tried to get creative with stuff, using CDs and stuff to listen to music, which was kind of awful because all the CDs that my parents have are pretty awful. All the fun music is on cassettes, But the thing is, our 2 cassette players are broken. So I was stuck with random like classical music and Barry Manilow.
I connected my laptop to my Bluetooth speaker and listened to music that way, and like connected to my headphones and like listen to music. But like I would have just pulled out my phone and listened to the music. I wouldn't have had to like go online and do this stuff.
But last night I did have to go on Google and I like had to look up some stuff for a Spanish project because I forgot what a word was or something.
Well, because that's kind of like the expectations that we have in our society.
Yeah.
Like Caroline was saying earlier, like she was saying like we do all of these things because of the fact that we're just able to do it. Like that's what expected of us because everyone has access to it. If suddenly everyone didn't have access to text, then sure, I would have sent an email, but I only know about 3 people that actually check their emails consistently, and it's just not as convenient. You can't wait until the next day. Teachers expect you to do it that night, and if you have questions, you have to email them or text them.
The day I missed and I like showed up to class and I didn't have my notes filled out, and the teacher kind of expected me to have already texted somebody and got the notes from them. So like that was kind of hard too, because I didn't have my phone, because I definitely do have somebody I could have texted, but I was like, it was still like the first day, so I was like, no texting, but like I don't know. And yeah, because I was like talking to my parents about it too, and they're like, yeah, and like they were saying that like a research project that we would do in 2 or like maybe 2 days, like they would have like a week to do. And not just because of like the like texting thing, but like because if they were doing a research project, they'd have to go to the library, and they'd have to get out, I don't even remember what they're called, but like the little like microdisc things.
I didn't think I was addicted to my phone, but after this, I definitely think I'm addicted to my phone because it just felt so much better being on it and having it on me. Like I brought it to school today because we were going to get on it after school, and I just felt so much better with it being on me, and like it just is crazy how like addicted we actually are to our phones.
That's like necessarily addiction. I feel like just like having it on you, it's just that you feel more secure because you feel like, oh, if my dad dies in a car crash, my mom can call me, you know?
I definitely feel the security part, but also like when I go on my phone, it just makes me feel happier and like stress is relieved. Like just like scrolling through like texts that I have, just physically looking at a phone. But when you like get into the contents of it, like the stress that it brings from like social stuff, like social media and texting, that makes you feel worse. But just the action of turning on my phone like released endorphins in my brain. The only thing I did was go on YouTube and go through news articles, which wasn't like. And like the YouTube that I watched was like current event stuff. I think I went on Twitter because my parents told me, well, I had like looked at a picture of Chandler Riggs from The Walking Dead, well, used to be from The Walking Dead, in comparison to Mayor Pete, and they look exactly the same. So I had to pull up the pictures and show my mother because they look so. Look up Pete Buttigieg and then look up Chandler Riggs and compare photos. They are identical.
So do you guys think you could make it a week without any phones?
Do you think, how do you think it'll impact your life, and how dependent do you think you are on your phone?
Let us know in the comments. I'm also going to put a link to an article that I just ended up reading yesterday about 8 ways that you can minimize addiction to your phone. So that's like 8 little things that you can do so that you're less inclined to spend more time on your phone. I'm going to put that in the description.
Bye!